two things I wanted to get done. I wanted to get the run done, the pelletized bedding down in the run, and I wanted to get these plants planted. But of course, I've already spent like 45 minutes being distracted with other things. And now, before I even, the peppers are going to go in this row where the zucchini was over here. But I started looking at this, and I thought, well, I can extend this out because I've got some tomato plants over there that are right in front of the trough where the lantana are, and we're going to put the lemongrass in the ground right in front of the trough. So that means the tomato plants need a new place to go. So I'm going to extend the row with pots here. But in order to do that, I want to kind of flatten it because there's all this grass growing and all this extra mulch that in the beginning of the year I didn't do anything with because I didn't know I'd be extending this far. So just real quick, and I say real quick, but however long it takes, I guess. I'm going to get some of this up, go ahead and move those tomatoes. See, because if I get it prepped, then there's always a chance that Jose will just come in and do it. Like, he kind of goes through a little checklist in his mind, and he knows we want that lemongrass there. So if it's ready to go, he'll grab a shovel and just freaking dig a hole. So if not, I'll do it. It's no big deal. I just thought I could at least get this part prepped, get the tomatoes out of the way. The good thing about having this weed fabric down is that really everything's pretty easy to pull up. As we kind of get to the end of where the weed fabric is, though, it gets harder and harder. Things are actually in the ground, rooted. But see, I can just rake over that. I got all that up. So, let's see. And see these stupid gloves? I can't find my real gloves, my leather work gloves. I have no idea where they're at. And so I'm trying to use these, like, I don't know, they're knit. They feel like a freaking sweater gloves. And I don't generally use gloves when I'm working with the plants, but when I'm doing rakes or shovels or stuff, I like to protect my hands because I'm a wuss. And so this is what I've got right now. I didn't want to spend an hour looking for my gloves. I have no idea where I put them. Last couple of weeks have been kind of rough because we haven't been out much because we were getting rain. The last 2 weekends we had rain, and then we had family stuff, so we barely got outside. Last weekend, made myself sick staying outside too long. On Saturday, and then on Sunday. To be fair, I could have come outside Sunday morning, but instead I wanted to watch the men's Wimbledon final. So by the time that was over, it started pouring. So we lost, half the weekend last weekend. So I'm a little behind on some things. Always behind on things. You know how it is. There's always more projects. There's always things to do. So I'm not going to get upset about being behind. I'm just going to do what I can. But I really wanted the peppers, the jalapenos. And we have those now. So now it's just a matter of getting them in the dirt. I already have different places for them that I'm going to put them. The lemongrass we weren't planning to buy because I just saw it and we decided to get it. So of course that creates like this whole new project, which is fine. I love lemongrass. I'm happy to have it. I've tried to grow lemongrass from seed and it didn't do great. I did it last year. I need to rake this. Oh, those are in there pretty good. All right, let's start with this and see where we're at. Move my little lemongrass. Oops. Okay. So this big boy. I guess I could technically just come in and extend these 2 rows, but at this point in the season, I'm just going to go with what we've got established and keep these in their pots. I'm going to put this one here and let it needs to be staked up. And then put this back over here. Oh, this one's heavy. Oh, this can go here. And I'll put that new plant in here. I just need a little more dirt. I need to get down into that one. So this pot is over by the house and it was actually catching runoff from the roof. So it's still pretty moist in here. Plus it's kind of packed. So just kind of break this up a little. I may not. That's a smaller plant. I may. I just know this is going to pack back down. So I was thinking I wouldn't even add any more dirt, but I'm going to because this is going to pack down. And I have a pot over here that I had put dirt into, soil into, and then never planted in it. So there's weeds because there's always weeds. So I'm going to use this. And oh, I don't want that whole clump to come out. Okay, so I'm going to get that baby in here real quick. It's over here. What did I say it was called? Pentas. Pentas. I see these all the time, but I've never bought one. So, freebie. I'm excited. It's very nice of them. Give us a free plant. Love a free plant. Phone's ringing. Nope. Okay. All right. So Mr. Pentas lives here now. Or Mrs. Pentas, whatever. I don't know if these are like other plants. I'm just going to pull these bottom leaves off. So I don't like it when they touch the soil. I just bury them right there in the dirt, let them compost in place when there's just a little bit. That one's a little yellow. And then she's in. I need to prop this up. I have a stick right there, actually. Oh, there's one there too. I don't know if you can tell by the way this is going, but this is how I get distracted, right? we got the lemongrass, and so I wanted to set it up so there would be a place for the lemongrass to go. So I started doing this. Then as I move these over, after I've raked it, I move these over, realize this needs to be propped up. So now I'm searching out the tools. This one needs to be propped up too. There's another stick. Let me grab a hooky. Go here. Mainly want this propped up so it won't be like in the walkway, kind of. It'll grow, you know, leaning over just fine. And of course, this is my one that has the Survivor tomato growing out of the hole. So that's there. And then with that propped, I can move you a little bit. Okay. And the hose is running through the middle. I didn't squish it at all. I didn't squish the hose, baby. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look around and see, is there anything else that I want to put over here? Are there any other areas that I want to kind of fix? And what I might do is actually this. Let me look at you. See, so this marigold has been kind of covered up over there by the flowers. It's been kind of covered up and it's looking kind of sad. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move it over here. This one's broken. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to move it over here and see if it comes back to life or not. It might be in too small of a pot. And then I'm going to look around and see what else. I know I have my moringa trees over here. Which I've got to get into the ground. So I have this one, this little moringa tree, but to see how they're starting to yellow. I've never gotten them this big before. There's another one, a bigger one. Oh, and this one, are you in the picture up here? There's yellowing. These leaves are yellowing. So, that's something I got to think about, is where these can go in the ground, because these pots are way too small. These were like up pots, right? Like I started in 4-inch pots. They're pretty big seeds. It's a dwarf moringa, so it's not like tree sized, but started them in 4-inch pots, and then I moved them up to these thinking, you know, I'll move them up again. And then as usual, time just kind of got away from me, and now they're still in those, and I'm certain they're root bound in there. They need to go in the ground. I talked to some folks at the farmer's market, I think last weekend, that sell moringas and sell like moringa tea and stuff. And they said that they do all of those in those little compostable peat pot things so that they can just plop them right in the ground without disturbing the roots, because moringas don't like their roots to be disturbed. So now I'm very worried. I want to dig a big enough hole, take it out of the pot once. I'm not going to touch the root ball at all, and just pop it in the ground and see if they're going to live. If not, I'll start new ones next year in a way that can be put directly in the ground. Because I really, really want moringa trees. Like, I want to be able to make my own tea, my own moringa tea. So I've got this pile of stuff here that I want to at least flatten, because we don't want to just leave it as another hill to climb. And just real quick, this will be the spot where the lemongrass will go over here. Get some of this up. Get that. And then we're going to go flatten that mulch over here. And then we'll move on. So here, this pile here. So for now, I can kind of take it back in and like line this. I guess there's still a lot of weed in there I need to pull out. But this spot here, I don't know, is this in the shot? Yeah, so over here is a really, really low spot, and this is where water gathers when it rains. So actually all of this that I'm moving up in here is very likely to just wash down, which is fine. This isn't a permanent solution for the paths. It's just, it's here, and today is not the day to pull the mulch up. So I just wanted to make it less hilly, because I will trip over anything. I will trip over the idea of a hill. So that wasn't too bad. That didn't take that long. That was an okay distraction project. I'm going to pull these last things up here. And then we'll probably, Jose's working in one of the beds over there on irrigation where I'm going to put some of the peppers. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually go work on the chicken run while he finishes up, and then I'll come back and plant all the peppers like all at the same time. Because I could plant the ones that are going to go right here, but I'd rather just kind of get in a rhythm. And I need to do the chicken coop because I got to lift all those sacks. I'd rather do that while I still have energy. So we'll stop here and then, hi, and then we'll move over to the run. Okay, so we're over here where these were the green beans earlier in the year. This is purple hull peas or cow peas. I can't remember. Honestly, I have it inside, but they're like the ones that are like black-eyed peas. They're going to come up. And so I've got all of this space. Since I've taken all the peas and beans out, I've added chili piquin over here. I added that sage because I had it in a tiny pot. I added the purslane, and then there's another chili piquin at the back and a tomato that I added over the past few weeks. I've been doing that. But I have all these peppers now, so I'm thinking I really want to get 3 or 4 in here. I know it's going to be tight, but I think maybe because, so there's chili piquin over here, and then the okra doesn't start till over there. Jose just laid these tubes, but I'm thinking I can put one around here. I can put one here. It's so hard. So I can actually go closer to this, right? Because these are going to go more up. They're not going to come out so far. So I'm going to go a little bit closer. I can put one around there. I can put one. Now, obviously, this light doesn't have to live here. I did shove it down a little far, though. Dang it. So if I take this light out and put it in the corner. No, we have all these solar lights, and I never get around to like actually arranging them. They just end up getting shoved somewhere and then getting moved later. I think I can put one here. I've never grown chili piquins. I don't know how big this is going to get here in the corner. I have a feeling now that I'm putting one this close to it that it's going to get huge, but that's okay. This is what I do. I have never met a plant spacing guideline that I actually liked. I do this to myself all the time. You can tell by the rows. And then one here. These are going to end up being kind of close, but it's going to be okay. Because I have seen where some people plant like peppers like 4 inches apart like this, and treat this as like one plant, right? And then do like the 18-inch or whatever spacing after that. And let 2 like kind of sister plants grow up together. So if that works, then maybe this will work. So I'm going to just take 4 of these. Now some of these are smaller than others. And I thought earlier I was trying to decide some of these are going to go into rows, and I knew some were going to go into the beds. And I was like, should I put the bigger plants in the bed or in the rows? I was trying to figure out, because they're going to actually probably grow better in the rows, because that goes down into native soil. It has that clay underneath that holds water. And I was like, so should I put the small ones in the rows, because then they'll catch up better, because they're in the row? Or should I put the big ones in the rows and let us get peppers earlier and they can just grow massive? I went round and round in my brain about it, and then I finally decided to just grab the plants and put them in. So what's happening here is that, like, one of the bigger ones, I'm doing one of the bigger ones right now. It's going over here. And some of the smaller ones are going over there. And you know what? It's fine. Put the plants in the dirt, Nikki. Sometimes I do that. I overthink too much. And then, to be fair, sometimes I just go with it too much. And I find out the hard way lessons that I should have known. But here we go. Because I watch a ton of like other people and gardens, and I learn from all kinds of people on the internet, TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, all those things. But I feel like sometimes it becomes like information overload in my brain, or sometimes they are in a completely different zone from me, and what works for them isn't going to work for me. Or sometimes they're full-time homesteaders and they have time to do some things that I don't necessarily have time to do. So they're in. There's 4 in. We have this row here that we're about to deal with. This is this. What do you call it? Tomatillo from over here in this bed. It was a volunteer, and I just let it go, and it's going. It's a going. So, and then because this has grown up, see, all of this is weeded and grass now. So I have a volunteer basil here. I have a basil here, volunteer, I believe. This is a volunteer tomato plant that I might just keep. Kind of need a hammer to nail that down. It's got some flowers on it, so we're going to see if those flowers make tomatoes. This back here, I'm pulling this out right now. This is one of the chili piquins. I think Jose pulled all the chilies off the other day. They were all green. They wouldn't turn red. When they were turning red, they were busted at the bottom, like they weren't ripening correctly. Here's another one. See, these have been in the ground since like March or April, and they haven't done anything. So I'm giving up on those. This collard, bolted. You can see I actually pulled all the flower stems off the other day and gave them to the chickens. So this is bolted, so it's coming out. Oh, that tomatillo just fell. Let me fix that because it's just blocking. So I need you. Of course, I just tried to prop it up. I didn't actually do it right. So that's what I get, I guess. I'm trying to just give it. I'm about to hate myself, but I'm about to just cut this thing. But for now, okay, there we go. Got that out. Okay. So this tomato, if I can get that to stand up better, then it won't be in the way. Greens, shishito, and shishito. Okay, so what I'm definitely seeing here is not only is there a lot of weeds, but this row, like really, really diminished in size, big time. And we have all these weeds over here. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to get the rake and I'm going to see if I can get some of this weed up over here. I'm going to see if I can prop this tomato up, right? So if I can get that to stand up, I can put pepper here. I'm probably going to lose this green and maybe that green. And then I can get some jalapenos in here because I need to get one. Oh, 1, 2. I need to get 3 in here because I think we can fit 5 over there. So I can do 1, 2, 3 if I pull this green right here. Yep. Okay. So that'll go to the chickens, I guess. Because they're starting to bolt over here anyway. And then all these weeds, let me go get the rake. Yep, we do that. medium heat jalapenos. And then the tags. Oh, mama, falling down. It says 8,000 Scoville. So the other option she had was a mild one that was like 1,500. And Jose and I talked about it, and he was like, "You know, you like a little bit of pica," and I was like, "I do. I like it spicy." So, sorry, I'm getting tired. So that's those. Now I'm gonna go put the 5 in that are left. I went back and I watered in the other jalapenos that I've already planted, and then I pre-watered these holes here. So these are just going in, ready to go. So I'm gonna leave this around here. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm gonna pop these lower leaves into the hole. And then here's your new home. Kind of deep. I just don't want any leaves touching the dirt. And the little channel I built over there worked really well. So I'm gonna, for today, I know it'll settle in. I'm gonna do that again. Pre-watered these holes, but I'm still gonna add more water once these babies are in. I actually want you over here. The smaller one I'm gonna put on the end here. Oh, hang on. There you go. Growing a little bit crooked. I wonder if I could straighten that out. Find out. All right, 2 more. Pop you off, pop you off, and going in. Awesome. That out of here. That out of here. Just finding some clumps. I'm gonna break that up. Okay, and then last one. Deep. We can go deep. Again, break up the clumps right here. Okay, now, even though I pre-watered these holes, there's dry dirt, see? So, I'm gonna go and take this one off. I'll just put it down in there, let it compost in place. So, I'm gonna put some more water on these. I wonder, I might go even further with this one. Hang on. Oh, we're off the camera here. I'm on the end here. Dirty hands. Let's get you a little. So I've got this one here on the end. And it was like coming up and then did a turn, like the main stalk did. So I'm actually going to bury that turn and try to get it to grow straight up. We'll see if it works. This dirt will probably move around, but if I get it in here good enough, get these clumps broken up, and hopefully this one will grow straight up instead of it would have, the way I had it in there, it would have been growing out into here, or actually more like this way. So we'll try it. Hopefully this will work. Okay, there's 5 more in. That means they're all in. All the jalapenos are done. So I'm going to water these in and then see what's next.